Fanatic live stream for the afternoon of Halloween Eve. It is Thursday, October 30th, 2025. Hope you've all had a good trading session thus far. We've had some great two-way price movement, digesting the earnings yesterday as well as the Fed policy and all the FOMC funness. Thanks for everyone who did join yesterday in one of the two areas. Unfortunately, the YouTube video got corrupted. I started the stream incorrectly, and the whole thing didn't. So I didn't delete it because we didn't do well. We did quite well and doing well this morning. So this afternoon. So I wanted to remind everybody that this broadcast is going to be for educational purposes only. You can pause the video right here if you want to read this risk disclosure and disclaimer. The most important thing is that all trades presented should be considered hypothetical and should not be expected to be replicated in a live trading environment. For the most part, I'm here to teach people how to use strategies and risk management appropriate for small accounts, because most people should be learning on small accounts, whether that's their own live capital or whether you're using the prop programs and leverage across accounts instead of over leveraging yourself in any one account. That is the game. That's what we're doing. That's the assignment. Should you be willing to accept it, Jack Ripper, Reaper, whatever. All right, so let's move this out of the way. Also wanted to show you some of our finest fun stuff that we do in our trade room, because this is definitely the case today. I know some of you have probably been picking some bottoms here in the NASDAQ. Maybe you've been shorting it. Finally, we have a little bit of a pullback. Amazon and Apple earnings after the bell. But trading the NASDAQ is like letting a crackhead mow your lawn. Someone in the trade room said that one time, and we're like, that is just perfect. You trading the NASDAQ, that's like letting a crackhead mow your lawn. And then we got the capybara in the Boy Scout outfit there, because I will be going as a Eagle Scout to Halloween, given the fact that my girlfriend apparently has a brownie costume that she's pretty much into. So anyway, now today, someone already said masterclass today in the Dow. It was absolutely a masterclass today for folks in the Dow. And it was nice that the shorts worked out, but you could have made money in both directions. So we were long this morning off of this. By the way, these zones were here the whole time. I didn't draw them in after the fact. They draw themselves up here on the top end. We're talking about a prior session high, a prior session POC and a prior session high. You connect those two levels, you have your offer zone on the range trader. Down here, we were talking about a prior session low along with an upward sloping T-line, and you could connect it to the prior low as well. So there you go. You got everything you want, your bid zone, your offer zone. So as you can see, I'm resting in order to buy this entire pullback as we retrace the entire move that we had here in the Dow Jones. So you could have been in the NASDAQ today where it was squirrely, it was all over the place, and you're essentially guessing what the next moves can be. Now, we can apply the same framework to the NASDAQ. Don't get me wrong. We can, I don't have the NASDAQ on this particular chart. We're looking at Tickblaze right now. I just wanted to emphasize the Dow Jones. And then over here, where is it? Right here. There we go. So the Dow Jones right here looks the same. I just got the screen a little bit bigger. The -2s will come in at 47,567. And at this point, you can see the Dow has just gone negative. Everything is essentially red now to finish up the day. And we'll see if we get any little bounces or movement before. All right, looks like I got a fill here. I don't know what it's on. Oh, I'm short gold. Okay. So I had some orders in gold as well, and I did not expect those to get hit, but there you go. Right up to the +2s in gold. I have to be very, very cautious with this here late in the day, especially as it hits. I only have it in one account, so I'm going to put in a buy stop like right above this here. Not mess around with this at all. I didn't expect to get a shot up there to the +2s, but it did.
Order filled.
NASDAQ selling off a little bit here as well. So my Kerpos is essentially flat with the exception of, no, it's not flat. I'm short the gold market right here and just got stopped out. And looking to get long the Dow Jones here at 47,717. I'm just going to close this. I don't want to be dealing with this.
Order filled.
Okay, late in the day.
Position closed.
So we're out of that. No shorty for the gold market there when it's popping. But we'll be getting long here at -1s. And this morning it was all about fading this huge move that we had. So Perfect example of range trading and two-way price action. I've set up all these pretty cool. I now have 7, 8 different views that I can use here on the stream to make it more interesting. If you ever want to see my entire face in the back of this is my office here. Then I also have the VPS over here along with IB. This is Bullinox and 2 other firms. I have not traded anything over there today. And then over here on TradingView, that's the Dow as well. And really nice classic day, just trading the Dow. Literally just the Dow, $541 with no more than a 3 lot on. Okay, just trading the Dow there today. So this is all possible, acorns to oak trees. And those accounts that you just saw, those are all real money accounts. The same size as an account that most people could probably eventually open up on their own and then copy between a variety of prop programs and a live account as well. If you don't want any rules, you don't want anyone telling you what to do, you're an independent man or woman and an independent thinker, and you want to be able to lose your own money, by all means, you can do that.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
Go Dow. So I think I got the Dow. No, I don't have the Dow here. So just flat, waiting for the Dow to come down to a level that we can get involved. I just logged in here when I got back from the gym, so I haven't been trading this account today. The account that I traded today was all of the accounts that are connected over on Tradevate, so I believe that I'm potentially down a little bit here. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, so this is like kissing your sister here, but these are futures desk accounts. The futures desk has no sim live stage. If and when you pass their program, you get put directly into live markets. So in live markets, there's no restrictions except for what you're not allowed to do in live markets, and you can pretty much do whatever you want to do in live markets. If you want to check out the futures desk, you can look at the links in the description down below.
Order canceled. Order filled.
So question here, are you able to I'm going to take some exploratory longs here. In the exploratory just means making it up before it gets to the level. I'll come down here to the question at hand. So I just got long the NASDAQ there. The long on the NASDAQ should be at the -2s, which is coming in right here. So I'll do an add down here. I do have the risk budget for this. This account's up quite a bit today, and it's an evaluation, so I don't really worry about it. But the question here is, are you able to replicate the prop with real money accounts having 10 times? No, you can't do that. There's no firms that are going to allow you to open up 10 small little accounts. So what I have is I have small accounts for tracking purposes for what I'm teaching here at 7 or 8 different firms, but mostly here in the room what I'll show is Interactive Brokers with one. I have a lot of accounts in Interactive Brokers, but I have one. You're not allowed. I don't think you can open an account in Interactive Brokers with less than 30 or it might be up to 50,000. I could be wrong, but anyway, it's a lot larger than what, a futures only broker like AMP or NinjaTrader. But I say here a lot, I think everyone should aspire to having an Interactive Brokers account. It's the best combination of institutional and retail. And it doesn't provide all these crazy margins. It's much more conservative. It makes you a better trader to use that as your broker. Infinitely better than Schwab for active trading or Thinkorswim or any of those things. The platform is not that great, so instead I connect it to Ninja and I connect it to Tickblaze for trading my futures markets. So no, you can't do that. What you can have is you could have 3 or 4 accounts that you can connect to Ninja that are live, but what I'm doing normally is just trading on the platform that the broker provides. So at Tasty, I'll use their platform sometimes if I'm going to do an options trade, options on futures, or I will. I have Tasty connected to Interactive Brokers. So in that environment, there's not a lot of copying going on. The majority of the copying going on is all of the Trade-Evade accounts I have connected, plus some Rhythmic accounts, plus NinjaTrader brokerage, plus IB. So I have 2 live accounts connected, and I copy those. But that's the brilliance of what these prop programs allow, which is leverage across multiple accounts instead of being over leveraged in a single account. And for those that don't quite get how it's different to trade $10, $2,500 $500 accounts and just use one lead account and manage risk at $250 in a single account, yes, if you multiply it times 10, you've lost $2,500 if you hit your daily risk budget. But psychologically, mentally, it is very, very different, completely different. Also, you would have to size positions and things differently in a $25,000 account. So this copy prop world that we live in right now is a fantastic opportunity to make money while you're learning, but it's going to send you on the absolute wrong path if you ever think of it as $25,000 or $50,000. I continue to see even some of the firms will say, you know, you can't make money on a small account, so you need to use prop and use $50,000 or $100,000, which is silly because that's $25,000 or $3,000, right? It's the size of the drawdown. It's really disingenuous that they continue to promote the notional value because a lot of people don't know or understand that. Prop firm's not, of course, not giving you $100,000. It's completely silly. They're giving you a small account, which is the same as any small account you could open up on your own. But what they're doing is they're giving you the opportunity to have 3 or 5, or in some cases 10 or even more small accounts. So not everyone's ready for 10, but start with 3 or 4 or 5. That really is $15,000 of risk capital. $15,000, not $250,000 if you buy 3, 5, $50,000 accounts. All right, let's come back up here to the Dow. In the trade room this morning, that's all I did was just sit on the Dow and did my best to call out what we call graceful exits as I was earning the right to have a short. At one point this morning, I was down total of $170-ish at the maximum adverse excursion on the Dow. And in the live account today, made $390 in Ninja and 500 and something over here in, I think I showed this to you. So this account right here is a live account connected to Tasty, and it was $541. So about $700 made trading just the Dow Jones and earning the right to be short. Now I was short initially from in here. Okay, had to gracefully exit, take some off, manage the trade. Then we caught the top here. Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. Originally short from in here. Long for about 90 points in the morning and then got short a little too early. So those that are in the room would remember that. I believe that Amazon reports shortly after the bell. I think that's normally how it works, but I do know for a fact that Apple waits for an entire half an hour, so we won't be around for that. I don't even know if I'll stick around for the Amazon. Maybe if they report immediately, we can just look at the NASDAQ briefly, but for the most part, the fireworks were certainly yesterday when all those earnings came in. Bam, 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 bam. And just a quick look at what's holding the Dow up. So Boeing reversed kind of hard, and Cat Tractor is sharply unchanged after being slightly down and then up. then up on the day. Goldman Sachs has had a very good day. So you can see lots of green, or in my case blue, for the stocks in the Dow. But Google's given up a lot of its gains. Meta has given back even more. And of course, once Nvidia goes red, it's almost impossible for the market to stay bid. Apple still up, and Amazon down a little bit, and those are the earnings that we'll have after the bell today. I'm going to move this long down to what is developing value area low, and basically the top of this bid zone. If the Dow and watching the Dow bores you, that's good. Old man Dow, as we say, that's what you gotta get used to. If you want to do this right, start with the Dow and maybe the MES, and don't worry about how much you can make. Be concerned with how many days you can go without exceeding your daily risk budget, or if you do, not having that happen more than a single day in a row. As people learn in our group, they come on and we chat and find out, of course, everyone's path is going to be a little bit different, but you do not need to go through this vicious cycle of blowing up accounts and starting over and thinking it's not possible. It's 100% not possible using a mini. And I like to say that every stream, because my team will cut these little clips and put them on social media, and then those are the types of clips and sound bites that get the most interaction. And everybody that says you can do it, you're just wrong. You're getting lucky. It's mathematically impossible. It won't last. Now, you can do it in prop programs, and by do it, I mean buy inexpensive accounts, blow them up, reset them, run some of them up, take a payout, feel like you're making some sort of progress in doing anything. And there's people out there that just are like, F the prop programs, they're all against us, who cares? I'm going to be as predatory as I possibly can, and I'm going to follow these numbnuts on YouTube that show these methodologies for how to extract the most amount of profit from prop programs, claiming, as I do, that it's not particularly real. Okay? The way they're structured is not really teaching you how the real world works, but you can structure them in a way that's non-toxic and can be very beneficial to you, both for your development as well as your pocketbook. Anyway, back to the Dow. If you check out my ebook, which is right over, it's in the description down below. I'm on a screen where I don't have the image of it there. So let's see, I'll go over here too. So anyway, there's the ebook down there in the corner. And there's a question on sizing. Do you always trade one contract at a time, or do you get heavier and trade two? So sizing is the perfect example of developing situational fluency relative to your skill level and your daily risk budget. So I know that a lot of people would prefer simpler answers, and unfortunately the trading world was plagued with these compounding spreadsheets of adding a contract when you grow your account and going from 1 to 2 when you get to this level. Those are complete nonsense, and they're dangerous. Okay? Your job as a trader in these prop programs and things is not to look to compound your account and grow it. No, you have to cash flow it, and we can talk about that in separate streams. But in terms of sizing needs to be dynamic. If you're just starting out and you have no idea what you're doing, the Dow Jones, a good example would be like 1 to 3 contracts, no more than 3 contracts. Now, in terms of when they're entered, when you're first starting out, I would also suggest that you give yourself the opportunity to trade at a variety of different levels, so you're actually scaling into maybe 3 contracts. Okay, so we're getting, I'm getting long the NASDAQ. It's starting to really sell off, baby.
Order filled. Position open.
Okay, and I'm long the the Dow now over there on that other account.
Order filled.
So I'll jump away from this for a
Order
moment,
filled.
not to
Position
hide
open.
an unprofitable position, but you can see I just brought the -2s. We'll see if they're going to just blast it lower. But I wanted to come over here to the Dow because this is the instrument that I really want to track today, as they essentially round trip this whole thing. Finally, a little rope-a-dope. What did gold do? Did it end up, yeah. So it ended up coming in from, did anyone short gold up here? Where's the circle? Do they have a circle here? Arrow line, big white arrow, extended line, horizontal, offer zone, ray, rectangle. I don't see the ellipse on here, but anyway, it's right in here. Right? A little bit of almost a pagoda top that it formed there. All right, long the Dow Jones. Technically, we'd put our order way up here, but I'm going to take these little swings initially. So the question that Osmani asked about how many contracts, you see I just entered one, and I entered one because I need the risk budget to buy another one down here, not adding to losers or dollar cost averaging recklessly. This is a structured, easy to explain, and high probability trade plan. I don't have to spend a whole lot of time planning anything. I just use the levels that are available on the chart. I don't care why yesterday it stopped at this weird line right here. It happened to stop at that weird line, but why, I don't care. By the way, this is a 233 EMA. 233 EMA. Go Dow. All right, so one person, Tom, took the short in gold there. Oh, that's good. Glad it worked out. Same thing, we'll get a sell limit here.
Order pending.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled.
NASDAQ is bouncing a little bit from the -2s. This looks profitable now, but it's not profitable. But I'll take you back to this. Take me back. So there was the ad down here, and I'll add once again.
Order submitted.
Sometimes you get a double dip and a little lower low. Sometimes you just get the, did anyone get long the NASDAQ there from the -2s? I try to make this stuff up and F up this afternoon, and I try to do whatever I can to get in some problematic positions, and this thing just bounces. Anyone get long there at the -1s? -2s. Does everyone understand why this is a level? This is called stay in your lane over here, okay? As I've said in a couple sound clips before, you don't need to, I have it here at small losses. I'm just going to scale that out. There we go. And here. These are called graceful exits. Does everyone, if you don't understand what this level is here, then I have a workshop here on YouTube. It's called the Situational Fluency Workshop. It's about 3 hours long, but you can find it down on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like the video if you can. You do not need to spend any money at all to learn high probability strategies and things like this. I was working with this new marketing group and they wanted me to really, really focus on the unique selling proposition and why the strategy was, fuck the strategy. Okay? The strategy is don't lose money. Learn how to not lose a lot of money. That's the strategy. So you can put all kinds of knowledge into your head and you can learn everything about what I do for these particular programs by just watching this stream and asking questions. But it's going to be difficult, and here's my little switch to being a member of our community. It is going to be a little difficult to turn that knowledge into true power, turn that knowledge into true situational fluency and confidence. That only comes from daily deliberate practice and screen time and literally watching someone like me do this and talk through the theory and logic behind it. Okay, the Dow trade is also working out. We'll see if it can get up there to the target.
Order submitted.
Okay, and I'll take you back down here to this. This is a live account. Don't steal my money. 300,483. This is a live Ninja brokerage account, and I took the same level down there, and I'll do it again.
Submitted.
Okay. So what I do is F around and find out a little bit with sometimes with the prop programs. And when I say F around and find out a bit, that just means buying in the bid zone before it gets to the absolute level of -2. But when it comes to my live accounts, I'll just wait for the best, highest probability setup, right? Because I don't want to lose money in this account. It's got about $5,000 in it. On stream live about 2 weeks ago, I took $2,000 out of it. And let's log in again here. And we'll be on their new dashboard, which is absolutely horrible, as I've said a million times. Oh, whoops, I tried to. No, I do not want to bring up their trader. Here we go. Let's try it again. Do you guys know how to switch to legacy dashboard? Here we go. Okay, so just shy of $5,000. Let me make this a little smaller so you can watch the trade there too. And I think I might have a trade on in Top Step, so let me make sure. I just flatten all this. Oh yeah, I'm long. Let me just get out of these two.
Order filled.
Flatten everything. Made a whopping $21 over there today. Go NASDAQ. Here we go. All right, so we'll leave that alone. We'll come back up to Tickblaze here.
Position
And we
closed.
just took profit, I believe, on both of these accounts. So there you go. I will leave the short at VWAP here as an initiating short, and then just come back in here and rinse and repeat.
Order
It's
pending.
nice when you get on stream and you just get lucky, as if this sort of works. The other thing about this style of trading, folks, is it should keep the most important form of capital that you have intact, and that's your emotional capital. Every issue that you have that revolves around the mental game of trading is sizing related. Now, we have a great new addition to our trade community, Coach John, who's going to be working with people on a much more detailed level around that stuff. But if you want a simple fix, it's size your trades accordingly. Okay, size your trades accordingly. Now, it might feel like, oh, I'm going so slow, or this is boring, or I see other people that are having this, that, or the other results. First of all, in all things in life, don't buy into any of that. I did a mastermind recently where I gave about 15 important tips, ways to think about speculation and even life. Learn to meditate. That's going to help your trading a lot more. One of the things I mentioned is only cost basis matters. Okay? So it's very easy for people to do is avoid what their cost basis was. I just took a $40,000 payout, they say. Okay, maybe they've spent $30,000 on prop programs. Are they still up? Fine. But you know how they paid that $30,000? From affiliate commissions and things like that, not from profits from their trading. Anyhow, great setups today. Look at what the Nasdaq did here. I'm just going to go ahead and take that off right there. Go ahead and rest an order here again. I have it in one other account as well.
Order filled.
So why trading the Nasdaq is like letting a crackhead mow your lawn, trading the Nasdaq with these simple strategies: 2 standard deviations from VWAP, understanding what the volatility profile is for the bands. So usually once a stream, I'll get asked a question as to whether these work in the overnight session or at different times. No, don't trade them then. Trade them during the New York session when you have the most amount of range and the most amount of range expansion possibilities that you can get. Can the Nasdaq get outside of these bands to the downside today? Yes, but it's highly improbable that they will stay outside those bands for very long. It's been a while since I've said this. We backtested for almost 22 years just the SPS, XPX, and the SPY. ES, SPY, SPX. But mostly the ES because it trades, we have more data for that. During the cash session, which is 9:30 to 4 Eastern Standard Time, I call that the cash session of the stock indices, the ES will spend about 82% of its time between 2 standard deviations. If the range is more than 100% of the 7-day ATR, in other words, if the expected range in the S&P is 90 points, and we've already traded a 115-point range, now that jumps up to almost 94% of price action will take place between 2 standard deviations. You understand why? Because we've already had the range expansion necessary. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to toot my horn. Nobody teaches this shit. Nobody. Okay? You won't hear. This is all you have to learn. The only thing that matters is volatility and volume, not the kind of bullshit volume that you see at the bottom of a stock chart with all the, oh, look, AAPL went up on a lot of volume or went down on a lot of volume on this bar that corresponded to the bar that I'm trading. That's nonsense. But learn how to read a volume histogram, and then learn how to overlay that to, look, I don't have to spend too long to teach you how to do this. Put the order on this line right here. There you go. Okay? Or we come up here, put the order on this line. There you go.
Modified.
And practice actually not filtering anything out. Oh, it looks like it's going to go lower. It's late in the day. There's this, that, just practice. I'll often say you need to eventually be aware of time of day, and you're going to overlay a number of things in your thought process. But when you're first starting out, act like you've just learned the rules of poker and someone just tells you, hey, your first 2 cards in Texas Hold'em, you want them to be the same, like a pair, 5s, 6s, 9s, aces, or you want them to be 2 high cards. Just start there. Right? So that person's not thinking about all these other considerations and position and when to play a suited connector or do other things like that. That all comes later. Start by just putting the order on the line, and I'll tell you in these streams when it's not time to put the order on the line, and it's not time to put the order on the line if we haven't experienced the amount of range that we need. The good news about doing these afternoon streams where there's actually less opportunity, far less opportunity than during the morning time, is because we already have the whole day's range to kind of work with, and we can actually be trading the highest probability levels if they get there. So another one would have been gold up here, okay? And now gold is retesting the +2s up here. I want to sit on these accounts here for a second because, again, I just turned them on later in the day. But I want to make something kind of clear. If you end your day with something like this, even after an entire day of work or looking at the screens, you should be happy. That's okay for a tiny, small account while you're looking to grow it and learn. There's a lot of negativity out there that wants to disparage small accounts or trading micros. Don't believe any of that stuff. Be proud of it. Be proud of your ability to manage risk. And you're managing that risk by sizing things appropriately for the account size that you're trading. The other thing that allows you to do naturally is if you look at this trade in the Dow Jones, I can buy here and I can buy here without it being butthole pucker time. If that was the full Dow, which was $5 a point, and I entered my first one at 714 and my next one was 615, I'm already down $500 by the time it gets there. More than double your entire risk budget on a single Dow contract.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, so we might get a fill here in just a moment, hopefully.
Order filled.
Order filled. Position open.
All right, I see some questions. I'll answer them in just a bit. I want to first walk you through the thought process of this Dow trade, because I already know if I get filled another one at 47,615, at that point I'll be down what, $50, right? I'll be down $50. So what people in my trade room will often hear me say is it's kind of like what Buffett used to say, and he meant this. They do years worth of work to decide which companies they want to buy, right? Sometimes buy outright. Probably hundreds of analysts. But when he finally made the call and says, yes, we're going to buy, he would, and start building a position, he would rightfully say, I hope I'm wrong about price here, meaning that it goes lower. Because he already knows, I'm ready. I want this. I'm going to buy this, start accumulating this company, and then eventually I might buy this whole thing. So as soon as I start buying this railroad or whatever the heck he likes to buy, or even the case of Apple, every time it goes lower, buy more. Now, a lot of trading so-called wisdom will tell you, oh, no, that's adding to a loser. It's not what you want to do. In fact, I hear a lot of these adages even from the Paul Tudor Joneses of the world about adding to. It has to be within context, right? But if I'm going to have a single lot on, we were talking about sizing before at 47,714, and I have a big old honkin' zone, and I have an SOS2, and I have a T line, and I'm trading with trend, damn well, I want this to go down and fill me. I don't even mind if I have to deal with a loser and cut it for a small loss. I'd much rather build a position here on the long side by scaling into positions than have it reverse and go all the way back up to target. Now, it's fine if it does. I'll just rinse and repeat one more time.
Pending.
But hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm putting down there. I'm rooting for things to go down to levels where I want to do more business. And I'm especially rooting for it with micros. And I would be rooting for it with minis if I was trading an account that was properly sized to do the same thing with minis. To trade the Dow Jones this way properly with minis, you need about $60,000 to $75,000. Yes, I just said that, $60,000 to $75,000 to trade up to 3 to 4 full Dow, because that's $20 a point when you have it on. So 100 points is $2,000. You have to be properly capitalized to withstand that type of drawdown in intra-position and still maintain proper capitalization, keep your head screwed on straight. And of course, there's almost no prop programs where you could sustain a $2,000 drawdown in a way that's reasonable. I mean, basically, that's just the nonsense that Top Step has been teaching forever. Let's talk about this trader who's taken 70,000 in payouts and this, that, and the other, and has this win rate or whatever, and uses their $3,000 daily loss limit as, and they hit it constantly all the time. Not real. Try doing that with your own $50,000, $75,000. See how long you last. No one can emotionally sustain that. Plus, you won't stop at $3,000. You'll lose $10,000 in a day or $15,000 in a day. Now, I get why people don't care when they lose $15,000 or $20,000 worth of funny money. Doesn't really have the same impact on them. All right, we're going to have our market on close orders in just a second. Let me go back over to this screen right here, and I will change your life. Thanks, Yohang. Appreciate it. I mean, you changed your life. You did the work. Whatever joy or success you were experiencing in trading, congratulations. All you did was just sort of incorporate the things that I have suggested that people do, because I've only been doing it for longer than everybody else, for sure. What do you think about analyzing a chart and watching what other traders put? Nonsense. Don't do that. All this trap longs, trap shorts, flush zone, liquidity grab. I can't even deal with all this nonsense of people applying logic to events in the past. Fool's game. There's no way anything like that. Try to get all that shit out of your head. Look at this chart right here, okay? Shouldn't be the NASDAQ. Let's do it. Let's switch to the Dow. Okay. Trade the hard right edge. That's it. Just spend your time over here on the hard right edge. Where do I want to be long? I'm going to go right down here. Trade the hard right edge. That's it. Don't try to guess what someone in the room this morning was talking about. They were in another room, and right where we would be getting short, they were teaching people to get long. Okay, that's fine. That's a breakout. They're taking a breakout from a level where we're looking for mean reversion. There's lots of ways to make and lose money. I'm not suggesting that you have to do this mean reversion stuff. I never say that. It's the best trading strategy when you're first learning. It's the best way to put yourself in a position where you're more often than not managing small losers instead of guessing when something goes awry. And I've only been actively teaching it and training it since 2011, so I've 15 plus years of history and know that this is the stuff that works the best for everybody. And now when you combine it with micros and everything else. So I highly encourage you to learn how to do this, and then you can vary off to whatever else you want to do. So anyway, no. Get all that crap out of your head. Trapped longs and where traders are positioned or all that silliness. I'm not saying that there are absolutely predatory algos that are simple as heck, but they're not dealing with us little micro pikers, and especially it doesn't have no impact at all if you're just demo trading, which is what you're doing in all these prop accounts for the most part. But what I was getting at is and me and my trading partners looked at doing this. It was just a little too complicated for us, and we really didn't have the funds to do it. But you can just parse the tape, see exactly where the weak hands are, but you're doing it actually with the data. You're not just looking at a footprint chart or looking back in the past and assigning value to something that happened and think you're some sort of genius. So in other words, the way those algos work is they basically say, okay, any ES trader with a size of less than 5, sometimes maybe even less than 10, where are all those people in the market, long and short? And that's publicly available information because it's right on the tape. So you just parse the time and sales, and then you can push price in whatever direction produces the most amount of max pain for those types of traders. How much heat could a 5-lot trader take in one direction or the other if I know the cluster of where all the 5-lot traders are? So anyhow, there you go. There's that. Dow's heading a little lower. Nasdaq's heading a little lower. Let me take you up here once again. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but I think this helps. So I'm in the Dow here, but I'm also in a live MBT trade. I should have really taken it off, but it's coming back against me. I don't want to be in this into the close unless I get the -2s. So
Order submitted.
all right, so there's the position, still long Dow and long MBT. And now I'm going to come over here to answer some questions. What would be the difference between the MYM and the MES for a beginner? Yeah. You get 10 points at 50 cents versus 1 point in the MES. You can choose either one. You can start with the MES if you want. But the Dow Jones also a little bit better for scaling. If you're going to do MES, I'd say 1 to 2 max. Dow, you could do 1 to 3. Plus, the Dow has the lowest volatility profile on a dollar basis. What do I mean by that? Take the 7-day ATR, take the average 2 range, multiply it times the point value. So I won't go to a screen so you can see this. Just imagine in your mind's eye. Let's say that the average expected range for the day, 23-hour range in the Dow Jones is 800 points. On a single contract, what is that in dollar terms? It's an 800-point range on a single contract. What is that in dollar terms? Please put your answer in there. An 800-point range, single contract MYM, what is that in dollar terms? All we need is one correct answer, and then we can move on to the next example. Go NASDAQ.
Order filled. Order filled.
$400, right? Correct. All right, so it's $400. Now we're going to say that the ES at the same time has a 90-point range. A 90-point range. How much is that in dollar terms? For a single contract. I'll help you out. It's 450. So it's slightly more volatile on a dollar basis, right? But yeah, I love the questions because it allows me to ramble on for a while. Not a huge difference between MES and MYM. So there's the answer. Huge difference between that and the NASDAQ, or that and gold, or that and really any other instrument. Okay, so if you want to start with the S&P, you can use the S&P. By the way, look at Dum Dum's getting one right here. Come on, Dum Dum. Maybe we can get this up to we can get it up to 50,000 before. Excuse me, 50,000, 5,000. Get it up to 5,000. We'll see. We're getting close. All right. So I answered that. If I may ask, what's the orange dash moving average line on the chart? The orange dash one, we don't have it on this one. You're referring to it over here, right? This right here. It's called the T line. We call it the T line. I don't want to have a bunch of moving averages on my chart. I want one quick way on higher time frames to identify trend. So it's a 233 EMA. You can apply it to any chart you'd like, but I'd recommend 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. Okay, don't apply it to 5 minutes. It's a 233 EMA. Lots of back testing. We did it for you to find the moving average that seems to have the most relevance. Let's trail this up even more. Look at the big brain on Rod getting lucky on Bitcoin at the end of the day. Why would swing levels or 233 EMA matter at all then? I don't know what that means. Everything matters. It's just stacking the sequences of things. I was probably rambling around about trading the hard right edge and using the volatility bands. What do the swing levels give you? They just give you other levels to look at. You don't have to, I mean, if you want to be 100% religious about it and wait till you get to every line every time, you could certainly do that. But, you know, if you're looking to scalp, or like for instance right here, see this little, the last swing we have, this line is longer because the decline, right? That's how swing levels work. So what I can do is come in here and say, all right, well, we chopped around, came up, and then found some responsive sellers right here eventually, right? So I'll target right here instead of all the way up here. That's all. I mean, it just gives you more levels. So anyway, that's the answer to that. I think there is a 20-second delay. I know that. So question about what indicators I used. You can find out everything about what I do by grabbing the ebook, okay? Just grab the ebook. Get that ebook over there. Get you a 10-video lesson where I basically read the book to you. And then within the ebook, there'll be plenty of references to other free resources that I give that will provide you with everything you need. You can set it up on TradingView as well if you want. So here it is over here on TradingView. So there's the same stay in your lane on TradingView. This is probably the best example. Can you guys see this? I don't know if you can. Here was a cover from a short before. Then I went long and sold. No, there's no cover here. This went long here at 47.6 and then sold. And then shorted here and then shorted here and then covered here and then covered here. Now obviously I look like a champ if we reverse the whole thing, but these are the trades from today. All right, we got about 5 more minutes and we'll be done here. See if we can work our way out of this Dow long. But as I said, I'm rooting for it to go down. Swing levels happened in the past. Yeah, I think we're talking past each other. Your question originally, or the original thing I was responding to, was making up make-believe about where you think other things are happening. Swing levels are 100% in the past mathematical levels where something switched directions. Don't look back at swing levels for too long, but if you're scalping and you're actively in the charts and looking for little levels, you're not going to see those on 5 minutes. It's the reason for the Rankos. Just other ways of adding layers to what you're doing. That's all. But again, if you're starting out, just put the order on the hard right edge. Yeah, someone said $1.25 per tick. I just think it was $5 a point, but it's correct. There's four ticks. So, but the easiest way for me to think about it is, as you guys all know, if you don't know about this, also on my website you can get a free 30-video course called the Futures Fanatic Foundation course, and it will go through all of that, teach you the tick increments, the point increments, everything that you need there. All right, we're managing an unprofitable trade here into the close. Be careful what you ask for, but I was rooting for it to go down. I don't have anything to give away today. but I'm done. Yes, TradingView is a 5-minute chart. You can't, so question about TradingView. This TradingView is a 5-minute chart. So on TradingView here, I don't have any swing levels. You can't put the Renkos on there the same way. You would need access to tick data, which they don't provide. And so no one can really write the right indicator for that or the right bar type for it. So I'm just using a 5-minute over here. I don't like the way it looks as much, but people like to do charting and analysis on TradingView, so that's what that is, yeah. Maybe we get a -2 fill here again.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Two more minutes. Remember, both Amazon and Apple are in the Dow. Screw the Blue Jays, but congratulations, they're outplaying us. What are you gonna do? All right, given the fact that we have Microsoft, we have Apple and Amazon after the bell, I'm going to get flat any NASDAQ that I have, which is everything, so I didn't have any NASDAQ, and then just take us up here to watch the close just on the Dow. And remember, I was rooting for a lower price, and it looks like I might get one. Any Jays fans, if you want to join my group, it's just double. That's it, double. Now I just got to come up with a Dodger discount. The Dodger discount. Man, did you just see that a second ago? I looked over and Meta was trading at $666.66. Woohoo! All right, go Dow. Come on, baby. Come on. Help a brother out. Okay, I'm done doctoring this, so you don't have to add it up today, but that's a pretty good day. I think it's a pretty good day. So there's the Nasdaq going lower. All right, so maybe we get Amazon right away. I know, like I said, I know that Apple happens afterwards. Give me one in the chat if you'd be happy learning how to have a screen that looks like that. And this is not pie in the sky nonsense. It's maybe a year of dedicated work to what I'm telling you here. I don't do this for my health. And I don't do it for my pocketbook either, trust me. I really don't. There we go, Dow. All right, I'm just gonna hit sell market here. I think maybe Amazon was popping. Did Amazon pop? Nope, not yet. Because remember, Apple's not going to report. That was a nice move in the NASDAQ, though. Okay, so I'm all flat here. Let me cancel all these orders.
Order canceled.
Nice move from the Nazi from the, did you guys see that? Oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda with a fill there, right? But again, I don't know. Just put the order on the line. Look at that. Amazon's got to be out. Something's causing, yeah, there you go. So Amazon's out. So you see that? Sorry, let me take you over here. So that's Amazon doing that. So up 5%. Pretty nice move for Amazon. And then we'll wait a little while, then we'll get Apple. So by the way, what you're looking at is this is just Interactive Brokers with a watch list that I can't give you this watch list. You just have to build your own. So I have the Dow here, and then I have some NASDAQ stocks, and I have the futures here, and then I have some indices over here. Just what I like to look at. So that's all that is. And I mean, if you get serious about your trading and you have the ability to also have some stock charts up, I think it does help. I mean, it helps especially in the Dow just to take a quick little look. So I knew that move on the NASDAQ and the Dow to a certain extent obviously had a much lower impact in the Dow because the Dow is price weighted, right? You guys understand that? Microsoft at $526 is going to have a much bigger impact on the Dow. Oh, this is a nice move, the 6% already. So congratulations, you guys ordered a lot of Halloween costumes or whatever. Anyone still long the Dow or long NASDAQ, or did you take any trades off the very end of the session there? Yeah, thanks. I mean, these are average results. I average this or more. And Tuesday through Thursday, I will be here. I say this all the time. I'll show this whenever you want me to. And when it's red, I'll especially show you and point out when it's red. I think I've had about 4, maybe 5 streams since I started doing this where it was red. And there was a couple where I lost accounts. So, of course, it happens to me. The lost accounts in every single situation were just bravado and me having a position overnight, mostly in gold over the last 6 weeks or 2 months. Anyhow, you guys are all capable of doing something like that. Long MES, I love it. Nice. Got a nice move off the MES there. Here's the MES. Ooh, let's move this over here. Yeah, nice move. Nice move right into the close. All right, congratulations, everybody. All right, so if you're not already, ooh, look at Amazon's now up $24. 10%. That's a nice move. All right. Hopefully some of you are interested enough. You come off of the YouTube world, come over and check out a trial of my trade room. Let me just put this up real quick so you can look at that NASDAQ. Go, go, go. So all of this is in the description down below. But you can come over and be involved as early as tomorrow for our Fun Day Friday, Halloween. I'll be dressed up as a Boy Scout. Don't let that deter you from coming over and checking out our trial room. All right. It's a 20-second delay. Do we have any other questions that I can answer today before we're done? Let me just do my my cheesy pleas for engagement. It really does help if you hit the like button. I know it seems lame and stuff, but if there's a couple hundred people watching this, if you can all hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. All right, doesn't look like any more questions are coming in. Have a great weekend. If you're not a member and I don't see you in the trade room tomorrow, it will be our Fun Day Friday. And remember, the Apple earnings come out in about 25 minutes, so don't get lulled to sleep and have an order resting or something like that, because the NASDAQ could really whip around here as well as the Dow and everything when those Apple earnings come out. So those are going to come out in about 25 minutes. Stay green, trade like you mean. I appreciate you all being here. We'll see you at the next one. Be good. Bye-bye.